Hello everyone, this is Diane. Welcome to my pretty pink cottage. Today I'm going to do a flip through of this beautiful little summer woodlands themed journal. This was just such a creative, fun thing for me to do. I had so much fun doing all the layering and collaging of items in this journal, and I just felt inspired by nature and by the beautiful digitals that I used and by my other supplies. It was just a fun journal to put together. Before I get into this, I have for a long time had some viewers who comment regularly, if not on every single video, that it's pretty close. And I thought I should acknowledge them. And I know other YouTubers acknowledge some of their viewers also when they leave comments. So today I just want to acknowledge Cindy M. and Barbara P. for your encouragement and your comments, and I will be thanking others in the future videos. So thank you all. Thank you to all of you. Even if you don't comment, if you give a thumbs up, I don't know who you are, but I appreciate that. And if you just watch, I appreciate that too. So let's get into this journal. This is going to be called Summer Woodlands Journal in my shop. I made it with a green file folder. This is what it looked like. In fact, I was storing this digital kit in this folder. I bought this digital kit a long time ago and had it already printed out. And then I had a really hard time finding it on Etsy so I could link it. And it's EBS Nature is what I wrote on there, because it was Elsie Bell's bookshelf. And that's how it was labeled when I downloaded it in the file. It was EBS Nature. But she has changed her name. I finally found out. I found her. But her name, her Etsy shop is now Junk Journal Mama. Her name is Elizabeth, and the name of the kit is Nature's Record. So that it looks like nature theme, but it's a field guide. So that's why it's called Nature's Record. So because of that, and you'll see images in there that show that it's a field guide. It has notes and tape and paper clips printed on the paper, and so I was able to incorporate lots of things besides nature images, and so that's why it was just so much fun. Also, I used some numbers and little labely things from Lulabelle something. I cannot remember, but I know I can find this. All Things Green, and I used some of her green numbers and numbers from Life, which was really fun. I think that's the name of it, but I'll link it. And then a lot of flower and leaf fussy cuts from Eclectic Eggplant, Summer Flowers and Leaves. I will link all of these. Alright, so it is made with a green file folder, and I tied it with a sari silk. I did ink it, because this is a pretty bright green, but I inked around it and kind of toned it down a bit. And I used pages from an Edith Holden book, Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady, to decorate the cover. And then I collaged on the front a couple of the card images that came with the Nature's Record kit. Some pieces. This is a vintage burlap, and this is a newer one. And then some of the fussy cuts. Just a little piece of trim here. And I got out my vintage cellophane that I've gotten off of books and papers. When it's brittle and falls off the page, I keep it. So I just glued that there. So I did that throughout the book. And then on the tie, I tied it so that the knot was on the outside. And then I added a bird charm and a flower charm. Sorry, my daughter's, I think it's my daughter's texting me. We send each other our Wordle every day when we complete it. So on the inside, I just added a page from a different botanical book, and it's the text page, and I stenciled on it, and I really like the way that looks. So I did that on the front and the back. And I had folded up the bottom portion of the folder instead of cutting it off. And I do have a video on how I made this cover. So I folded that up and made a pocket out of it, and I added a little page from this vintage Wildflowers of America book. And a little, this is also from Eclectic Eggplant, and she has stamped digitals. There's a little bit of cellophane there, and I did some messy stitching. I have a video where, it's a Tag Tuesday video, where I collaged some tags, and it's just scraps of scrapbook paper and then the Eclectic Eggplant summer flowers digitals and some numbers. I cut this off of something, and this is from the Lullabelles something in it. I think this one is All Things Red, but I don't remember. But anyway, you can find those, all kinds of numbers and fun things in her shop. Here is one of the pages of the kit. Oh, I put some muslin on the inside. So you can see it looks like a field note. Somebody is taking notes on their hikes or whatever, and there's splatters, photos pinned in. There's a little bit of trim on the edge. So here's where I had fun starting with my collages. I just was going to just put a little strip of scrap paper down the side, and I decided to stamp first. I have a lot of wildflower type of stamps, and then I had the Tim Holtz wildflower dies. So I stamped that and then added this torn piece of paper, and then I decided to add cellophane, and then later I went back and just glued this piece down, and I thought that just made the page, and I really like the way that looks. Here's an Edith Holden page and a little fabric cluster. Here I did another cluster of elements, just playing around and auditioning different pieces together, and then I ended up gluing everything together and making it into a tuck spot. Here is a little envelope that comes with the kit, and I just cut a scrap piece that I had. I rounded the corners and tucked it in there. So this could be a little specimen envelope. You would cut a specimen of a piece of plant and tuck it in your envelope to put into your field guide. I just put a paper clip, a little tiny paper clip on here to help hold the flap down. Another collage here with a die cut and a fussy cut, and this is one of those Numbers from Life pieces and a piece of cellophane tape, and up here it says field trip. Did some stamping on this page. This has like 3 different wildflower stamps and then a blotch stamp that I just stamped around in a light ink. The leaf trim, a little piece of that vintage burlap with a stamped image, some cheesecloth, some more stenciling on coffee dyed paper. Here is a tag that I cut out of a magazine. It was on a piece of like a cardstock page that you were supposed to cut apart. I don't remember. It might have been Stampington and Company, or Somerset or something, but I don't remember where it came from. But anyway, I liked the colors, and I just inked around it, made it into a little pocket, and I did some collaging. On this little tag, it's a purchase tag from Amazon, but I used a background stamp that looks like wood grain and added this little stamped and die cut piece and the word curiosity. Everything is made out of magic. Leaves and trees, flowers and birds, badgers and foxes and squirrels and people. So there's some more quotes here. I believe that God made everything. I don't believe in, magic. But God is supernatural, and He made everything. Now, the kit, when I finally found her website, her Etsy shop, and the kit was actually in there, then I found out that there were backing pages I could have printed with lines and cool stuff, but I, for some reason, didn't have those pages printed. So I just printed some background paper that I have in my digital file folders on my computer, and that's from TaylorMade Journals. Grungy paper, something like that. Grungy antique paper. This is another piece I started by just tearing papers to put on the edge of my page, and then I thought I'll put a little burlap behind it. And then I decided to just make it into a tuck spot, and I did some collaging on it. I added tags into the pockets, and then I had quite a few left over, so I just went through and just tucked them all in the places, and I didn't ink them or round them or anything. But look at that beautiful bright green fern. I was just going to include the leftover tags in your bundle, but I thought I'll just put them in the pockets. Here's another page from that field guide. I have a coffee dyed tag here. I put it on as a tuck spot and embellished it, stamped some lines, a couple more cards from the kit. This is on an Edith Holden page. I just added some washi tape on it. This page had a little tear up here, so I went ahead and added washi tape, and it makes it look pretty too. There's a piece of washi tape and vintage cellophane tape there. Some green ledger paper. This is an old ephemera piece. It might have been a freebie from Ephemera's Vintage Garden from years ago, but I had that in my stash, and I stamped that on coffee dyed tracing paper. This was a clear sticker, this square piece from Your Creative Studio, the box that they sent me, and I added the border. I put it on cardstock and added the border and made it into a tuck spot. There's a tree that I stamped. Added some digital stamps there, and this says guide. Love this page. This one is a fussy cut and a die cut. Another fabric cluster. Look at this, front and back, nothing added to it. It's hard. When I start doing all this everywhere, I want to put something on every page, but I don't have to do that. I can leave some room for you to do stuff. Again, this is a little stamp here, and a torn piece of paper, the old tape, and a die cut. Here's another of the little envelopes with a card that I cut inside. I like this paper clip. I think I got this in a Happy Mail, and I only had one. And I just clipped one of the extra cards there. Well, I'll get that on there. I took a craft tag and stamped lines on it. Here's one of the green labels and a die cut. That's just a collage. You can make little notes on that tag. You can write on this. I did a little bit of collage on this. Some of this was already printed on, but I added this number and the little black tag. And I made this into a pocket, so you can write on the backs of those. So I did do a lot of collaging and decorating on these pages, but I put a lot of cards in too that you can write on. And there's still space on the pages that you can write on. Here's another collage on one of those tags that I made into a pocket. It says Discover. And I just cut this bird out of a book. This is another sticker from Your Creative Studio. Here's a collaged pocket, and I added one of those little metal page markers that I got from my friend Leslie's shop. Her shop is called the Vintage Paper Emporium, but she doesn't have these anymore. I bought the last set of those. They come in different colors and they're just so cool. I don't know how old they are, but they're vintage. So this is just some scraps of paper and a little printed tag, a die cut, a digital, just fun stuff to collage. I think this is like my favorite thing to do, is just take random bits and layer them and collage them. So that's why it was so much fun. These images are just so beautiful. And then again, a page from the field guide, and here's my other collage tag. My signature's on the back. Thank you for watching. I know I took this out of somewhere, right there. This is in my shop. When you see it, I'm going to include this package of stickers because I didn't use it in the journal, but you can use it in the journal. And I will link all the digitals below, as I said, and I hope that you are having a creative day today. I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.